Hello, viewers, and welcome to another episode of Chris's Awareness Knits. That's two S's on Chris's, two S's on awareness, and one S on knits. Welcome to another episode of me talking about my life here in Japan and all my crafty adventures that I go through. If this is something that interests you, then stick around. Maybe even subscribe. Hey, who knows? Maybe you'll like me. Anyway, so a couple of episodes ago, I was talking about Daruma. And Daruma is a Japanese traditional object. There's a whole story behind it. Please check out my Daruma episode. But my finished object, my exciting finished object that I've been working on for a couple of months is a Daruma. And I wanted to show you my Daruma. So Daruma has like big eyebrows and whiskers and all kinds of whiskers. How does this work? Where did my finger go? Oh, this way. Whiskers and big eyebrows, and he's like a kind of scary little guy, but he has white eyes. So this is a vessel for a helpful spirit. And when you put on one of his eyes, usually that one, the right one, when you put on one of his eyes, he can see in order to help you achieve your wish. And so I'm going to use a black marker to mark one of his eyes. And my goal for that I need Daruma to help me with. That's why I made him. His goal as a helpful spirit, or a good luck charm, or whatever you want to call it, is to help me save enough money to buy a house. I'm about halfway there, and so when I get to the point where I feel like I have enough money for a down payment on a house and everything is all set, I will put on his second eyeball, this one, releasing him from helping me with the wish and officially giving him this place to live. Because Daruma spirits are just like in the air. They don't have any place to live and they want a place to live. So by crafting this Daruma, I have given him a place to live. And I have given him a wish for the place to live. So in order to pay me for the place to live, he is going to assist me, whatever you want to call it, in achieving my goal. And when I give him one eye, he can see better to achieve my goal. Because when I give him the second eye, he knows that my goal has been achieved and that this is his forever home. And he has paid back the effort and time that went into building this for him. Technically, it is currently inhabited because it is technically a completed Daruma, though Daruma usually has like stripes. And I'm thinking about making those out of felt, perhaps. So yeah, Daruma is my big finished object. I don't believe in any of this stuff, but he's cute. He has a purpose. He has a goal. He's awesome. I love his mustache and eyebrows, and I really think I did a good job because I rarely make like freehand. I completely freehanded his mustache, which is why I think it's smaller on this side. But whatever, you know, he's cute. He has a place to live. He's gonna be happy. And all my coworkers were like, "You're making a Daruma? Why?" And I was like, because he's cute and he will help me achieve my goal. So I made a Daruma. It took me a couple of weeks. If you want to find out about the Daruma and his history, you could Google it. But I used to live pretty close to a place called Miyoshi. And Miyoshi is famous for Daruma. They have a Daruma festival every year that I used to go to every year until the times changed and the festival got canceled for a couple of years. I think it's back on in a diminished capacity, but Japan is still very cautious. So it might not be on this year. We'll see. So yeah, here's my Dharma. I made him. He's so cute. I love him. So I made my Dharma. And then I got sick. Some kind of bronchial bacterial infection. Not good stuff. So I didn't make anything. I had finished my Dharma on like last Monday. And I didn't make anything until yesterday. So yesterday, all I did was finish off some of my whips that just needed like 5-10 minutes to finish them, and they would be good. Like, so I weaved in some ends, and that's pretty much all I did. Weave in some end, close up some things, but I thought I would show you because they are now completed objects instead of whips because they're done. So I've got 3 of these blue scarves. It's the third one. So 3 of these blue scarves. So I had already made the tubes on my knitting machine. Take that off. I had already made the tubes on my knitting machine, and so they just needed to be sewn together, and then they would officially be finished objects. So yesterday, I went to the doctor again, and he's like, yeah, it might be turning into pneumonia. It's not good. Anyway, so, yeah, that stinks. But after I went to the doctor, I'm not contagious. So he told me I'm not contagious. So I went to a coffee shop, and I finished these 3. So I finished these 3, so they get to go on the finished object shelf. Oh my god. The finished object shelf is getting so high, guys. The finished object shelf is now exploding. So I finished those 3. I finished this red one. I finished this blue and green one, which is thick and luscious. And it is just, I held the thread double, so it just has a like random pattern whenever the blues and whenever the greens were top on the knitting machine. So it's just like a random, I learned the word for that. Marled? It has a marled effect. And then just a plain yellow merino wool scarf that is just so squidgy. I love it. It smells like wool. A little bit. It smells like an animal. So those also go on the finished object shelf, which has exploded with finished objects. I cannot go finished objects. So I finished all of those. And I, like, yesterday I was, like, had energy for the first time in, like, I felt like a month. So I finished my socks. I feel like I might have told you that already, but I had to redo a little bit. So I finished one sock, and I finished a second sock, and I was telling you guys that I could feel every, like, knot. So I was wearing them around the apartment to see if they would, like, become more comfortable over time, and I think they have. I think in the future I will use a smaller crochet hook, because I think that's a lot of the problem, is that there's a lot of holes, and so you really feel the place where it's knotted. Yeah. So these are another finished object. 2 socks! 2 finished socks that I have worn and need to go in the wash, because I wash all my objects. Now, a finished object that you saw a long time ago is this. Whoops, that's inside out. Is this, like, hood that I made for myself. He has been through the wash and nothing is wrong with him. No threads came out, nothing has gone wrong. He's a little fuzzy, but that's fine. I want him to be fuzzy because that'll make him warmer. He'll trap the air better. And then, can you tell that my favorite color is purple? Is that not completely obvious with my purple sweater and my purple hood and my purple socks? Can you not tell? Is it, am I not being obvious enough? Is that how it works? So, whips, I am so close. So very, 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 very close to finishing my Project Linus blanket. I am so very, very close. There is so little yarn left that I'm like, maybe like a couple more rows and then I can bind off. I spent like 2 hours in the last 2 days working on it and I needed a break. So yeah, that's a thing that happened. It's so close, guys. I am almost there. And this is a project that has taken me months. And I am a project knitter. I want my things. I want to have things. I want to have completed projects. Just, you guys haven't seen it in a while. It has grown quite a bit. So yeah, I want completed objects. I don't want to be like sitting there and like spending 70, 80 hours on an object that's not even, I'm donating it, so it's not even for me. It's not my colors. It's something that I am putting my love and things into, so it actually takes a lot out of me to do it. So yeah, hopefully that'll be my big finished object on Wednesday. So a couple of objects that a couple of faux. I told you about the summer cotton t-shirt that I'm working on. I have started the front panel. So it'll sit like here. And so this will be the neckline down here. Ooh, to this way. And then I'll come back up. So I've gotten to the neckline, which is great. The whole back panel is done. And then I'll just need to finish the front panel and do the sleeves. Pretty much every wearable that I make without a recipe. You know, like the Try Guys thing. So I pretty much make everything based on like bits and pieces I've picked up here and there, like little hints from different designers, but I've never bought a pattern in my life. I do everything kind of freehand, just like figuring out as I go, which is, I think, a crocheter thing, because I've been watching a lot of Knitting Natty, and she's like writing everything down, and like she's continually trying things on, you know, as she goes, the same way I do, but she's following a pattern like 99% of the time, and I'm following a pattern 0.1% of the time. Like literally this neckline was the only thing, and how to connect to the underarms was literally the only thing that I even looked at when I was making this sweater. That I even looked at even a little bit, because honestly, I'm a plus size girl and I like a little bit of an oversize in my clothes, and finding plus sized patterns that have been, you know, designed for someone of my size and shape and all of that, it's a little bit difficult. So I've had to basically design my own pieces, which I think is fine. You know, it's taught me a lot about shaping and figuring out things, and I follow designs like free patterns on amigurumi and stuff. Not on my Daruma, because I just freehanded him completely. But like my first couple of amigurumi, I followed patterns, and now I just don't follow anything. I just like do it by myself. So I just really needed the techniques. And then once I have the techniques down, I just freehand everything, which makes it really difficult because a lot of YouTube bloggers are like, hey, this sweater is by so-and-so. You can make this sweater too. And I'm like, this sweater is by me. You could make it. That's all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any chops. I don't have any backup. I don't have any, like, whatever. So it's just, I feel like I should be making things that are popular, that everybody likes. Like there's that shawl that literally everybody is working on, the Sarah shawl or something like that. And I'm like, zero interest. I'll make a shawl. I have no problem making a shawl. I love to make a shawl. I've made several shawls. I'll wear one in my next video. So I've made several shawls and they all come out looking amazing, but it's literally just like a particular stitch on repeat. But this one is like a boomerang shape. The one that everyone's doing, the Sarah shawl or whatever. It's like a boomerang shape, and that's not... I like triangle shawls. You know? I do. I just like triangle shawls. I don't like the ones that are basically a wide scarf. My grandma made me one. A shawl. With pockets. But it's basically just a wide scarf. And I'm like, I love her to death, my grandma. Love her to death. Absolutely. But it's not my style. It's not my type of shawl. I like the triangle ones that you can like go around your neck and stuff. And you can wear and like put a shawl clasp on. That kind of thing. Oh well. It's still cute. It's just, I don't like... Big scarves is how I think of them. Really big scarves. So maybe some of you are interested in medicine in Japan. And since the pandemic started, medicine in Japan has leapt into the future. Now you can do telehealth. Now you can do all kinds of things. Like Japan went from not having credit cards, everything had to be cash, to all these apps and all these like ways of paying without actually touching money or touching anything in like 6 months. It went from a total cash society to a total non-cash society in like 6 months. It was ridiculous. And now 3 years later, I can't even imagine the way it used to be. It used to be only cash. Everything was cash. Cash was king. Nothing else. Just cash. And now there's PayPay and there's Alipay and there's different credit cards and this all kinds of stuff that you've had in the States for years. Like I didn't even have a debit card until I'd been here for 6 years because they didn't have them. They had cash cards, and then they had credit cards. And that was it. There was no such thing as a debit card. No such thing. Doesn't exist. Now I have a debit card. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And these cash cards only worked at ATMs. And they only worked at the ATM for the company. Or ATMs that are support that particular bank. And the ATMs close at like 8 o'clock in the evening. That's it. After that, no more money for you, honey. Not until 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. And you're like, Why does the ATM have banking hours? This is weird. It's just weird. And, you know, it's just something you get used to. You can still go to 7-Eleven or Lawson or Family Mart, which are the convenience stores, and use your card up until like midnight. But your bank's ATM, that's not going to charge you $4 or $5 per transaction, is closed. So instead of paying a dollar to take out money, now you're paying like $5 or $6 if you want to take out money in the evening or early morning. Like sometimes I need to take out money before I get on the train on my way to work and end up paying $5-6 for the privilege. Before. Now I can just use the app on my phone and they just scan my barcode and it gets taken out of my my phone charge. It's like a weird thing. So like my phone bill next month is going to be like $600. But my cash, I've gone from spending like $700 cash and $200 on my phone to now spending like $600 on my phone, and that's it. So it's not different. It's not different. It's just, I mean, at the bars and some restaurants, you still pay cash. So instead of taking out like $1,000 cash at the beginning of the month, I now take out like $300 cash at the beginning of the month. And then I top up my little device and then I just go about my business. It's completely different from the way it used to be. And it feels safer because I'm not walking around with $1,000 in my pocket on payday. Which was scary at first, you know, and then you get used to it. But Japan is such a safe country that people hold like tables. Like if they want to hold a table at a coffee shop or a restaurant or anything, they'll leave their iPhones or their wallet on the table. I'm like, there are 2 brand new iPhone 13s on this table at this McDonald's. Nobody is anywhere around me. And that is still, to this day, the most shocking thing about living in Japan is that the only things that get stolen are bicycles and umbrellas. Everything else, no. It's so weird. So weird. So weird. But I guess because the crime is low, the cops like don't have anything to do and they will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law, and they're not joking around with the full extent of the law here. Like somebody breaks into your house in the United States, the cops are like, yeah, we'll look for him, maybe. We'll think about it. That sucks that happened to you. Here's a paper for your insurance. But here in Japan, they're like, somebody broke into your house? This is going to be on the news. This is going to be a major thing. We're going to find this guy and put him in jail for the rest of his life. Like, they're not joking. They're not kidding. They don't have anything else better to do. People don't even, like, break into vending machines or ATMs. Like, I'll tell you a story. This one lady took an ichiman, which is like about $100, that had been left in the ATM. So it was just like on the ATM, and she like picked it up and she got caught on the ATM camera, and that's obviously not her $100, but there's no way to know whose $100 that is because they just left it behind. Who leaves $100 behind? Question number 1. Who leaves $100 behind? Question number 2. Finders keepers, dude. Not in Japan. She ended up getting arrested and was in jail for, I think, 2 years for that. So they're not joking around. They're not kidding. No, don't do it. Don't commit crimes in Japan. I do not recommend it. But that's what makes a country super safe. I mean, there are things that they don't really prosecute very much, like bicycle theft. They're just like, we found your bicycle, because the people who steal your bicycle are literally just, you didn't lock it, so they're going to ride it to the store or whatever. They're literally like, we found your bicycle, and that's it. It just gets returned to you. It's not a big deal. That's kind of nice. Umbrellas, they don't care. Maybe you left it somewhere. Shut up. Nobody cares about your stolen umbrella. So there's that. But other crimes don't tend to get attention. Stalking. Stalking is seen as the woman's fault, not the stalker's fault, which is a really weird and backwards way of looking at things, in my opinion. So yeah, that happens. So that's life in Japan sometimes. So, and yeah, so that's one of the things I really don't like, because I've known a couple of girls who've had stalkers, and the police just are like, what did you say to him? Why is he following you? What were you wearing? Kind of stuff. And it's really not nice. So yeah, we started off really happy talking about Japan and Dharma and everything, and we ended up really sad talking about the things that they don't prosecute. But if someone were to steal an iPhone, oh my god, end of the world. But if somebody is to follow you home every day and peep in your windows, steal your underwear off the washing line, ain't nobody gonna do nothing about that. What did you do? Why'd you put your underwear outside? Where the hell else am I supposed to put it? You guys don't have dryers. It's whatever. That would probably be, why are you living on the first floor? Why don't you live on the second floor? You're a woman alone. You shouldn't be living on the first floor. And that was something that was told to me when I was looking for apartments. As a woman, don't live on the first floor. There are peepers. There are panty thieves. Although, who wants my giant granny panties? I don't know. Y'all weird. But I was afraid my, bras. Because, no. They're so expensive. All my bras are from the US because I'm a larger lady. I can't buy them here. I found a couple here that fit. They were hideous. All the other bras in the whole place, super cute. The ones for my size, hideous. But if you've stayed through my ramblings and through my talk about Japan and fiber arts and all the things that I've been making and doing and my illnesses and all this stuff, if you stayed this long, I really appreciate you. Why don't you leave a comment and subscribe? You are the apple of my eye. I even made this hair tie. Dude, it's also purple. Yeah, that's right. Everything is purple today. Thank you. Have a good day.